Hello, my dear friends. 2026 Wednesday night time, 12th August 2026. So, I was reading the greatest speech of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. His exclusive quote, "Give me blood and I shall give you freedom." July 1944 in Burma, Myanmar. So I decided this is really inspiring and valuable for we the Indian. So I decided love to share amongst all of you dear friends who those are well connected with me. Subhash Chandra Bose addressed this speech to the Indian National Army. The Indian National Army was first formed under the leadership of Mohan Singh in the year 1942. It collapsed in December of that year and was then revived by Subhash Chandra Bose. Led by Bose, the army consisted of ex convicts and civilians from the Indian expatriate population from Malaya and Burma. Friends, 12 months ago, a new program of total mobilization or maximum sacrifice was placed before Indian in East Asia. Today, I shall give you an account of our achievements during the past year and shall place before you our demands for the coming year. But before I do so, I want you to realize once again what a golden opportunity we have for winning freedom. The British are engaged in a worldwide struggle, and in the course of this struggle, they have suffered defeat after defeat on so many fronts. The enemy, having been thus considerably weakened, our fight for liberty has become very much easier than it was 5 years ago. Such a rare and God given opportunity comes once in a century. That is why we have shown to fully utilize this opportunity for liberating our motherland from the British yoke. I am so very hopeful and optimistic about the outcome of our struggle because I do not rely merely on the efforts of 3 million Indians in East Asia. There is a gigantic movement going on inside India, and millions of our countrymen are prepared for maximum suffering and sacrifice in order to achieve liberty. Unfortunately, ever since the great fight of 1857, our countrymen are disarmed. Whereas the enemy is armed to the teeth. Without arms and without a modern army, it is impossible for a disarmed people to win freedom in the modern age. Through the grace of providence and through the help of generous Nippon, it has become possible for Indians in East Asia to get arms to build up a modern army. Moreover, Indians in East Asia are united to a man in the endeavor to win freedom, and all the religious and other differences that the British tried to engineer inside India simply do not exist in East Asia. Consequently, we have now an ideal combination of circumstances favoring the success of our struggle. And all that is wanted is that Indians should themselves come forward to pay the price of liberty. According to the program of total mobilization, I demanded of you men money and materials. Regarding men, I am glad to tell you that I have obtained sufficient recruits already. Recruits have come to us from every corner of East Asia, from China, Japan, Indonesia, Philippines, Java, Borneo, Celebes, Sumatra, Malaya, Thailand, and Burma. You must continue the mobilization of men, money, and materials with greater vigor and energy. In particular, the problem of supplies and transport has to be solved satisfactorily. We require more men and women of all categories for administration and reconstruction in liberated areas. We must be prepared for a situation in which the enemy will ruthlessly apply the scorched earth policy. Before withdrawing from a particular area, and will also force the civilian population to evacuate as was attempted in Burma. The most important of all is the problem of sending reinforcement in men and in supplies to the fighting fronts. If we do not do so, we cannot hope to maintain our success at the fronts, nor can we hope to deeper into India. Those of you who will continue to work on the home front should never forget that East Asia and particularly Burma from our base for the war of liberation. If this base is not strong, our fighting forces can never be victorious. Remember that this is a total war and not merely a war between two armies. That is why, for a full 1 year, I have been laying so much stress, reason why I want you to look after the home front properly. During the coming months, I and my colleagues on the war committee in the cabinet desire to devote our whole attention to the fighting front and also to the task of working up the revolution inside India. Consequently, and then smoothly and uninterruptedly, even in our absence. Friends, 1 year ago, when I made certain demands of you, I told you that if you give me total mobilization, I would give you a second front. I have redeemed that pledge. The first phase of our campaign is over. Our victorious troops, fighting side by side with Nipponese troops, have pushed back the enemy and are now fighting bravely on the scared soil of our motherland. So give up your loins for the task that now lies ahead. I had asked you for men, money, and materials. I have got them in generous measure. Now I demand more of you. Men, money, and materials can't be themselves bring victory or freedom. We must have the motive power that will inspire us to brave deeds and heroic that exploits it. Will be a final mistake for you to wish to leave and see India free simply because victory is now within reach. No one here should have the desire to leave to enjoy freedom. A long fight is still in front of us, and we should have but one desire today, the desire to die so that India may live, the desire to face and a martyr's death so that the path to freedom may be paved without the martyr's blood. Friends, my comrades in the war of liberation, today I demand of you one thing above all. I demand of you blood. It is blood alone that can avenge the blood that the enemy has split. It is blood alone that can pay the price of freedom. Give me blood, and I promise you freedom. So, Netaji's greatest speech, give me blood, I shall give you freedom. July 1944, and the greatest speech. So, dear friends, now I say my very favorite and very loving Mr. Pinaki Laha. He is now, he has joined in the course of my life. Thank you, Pinaki. Be happy and be spiritually blessed. So this was my leisure time, so I decided to utilize the proper time in the proper way. So this was the greatest speech of Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose. So I salute him and respectfully I offer my floral tributes to his lotus feet. Very good night, very good night, very good night.